I don't know about that.
Look at you.
Howdy.
Hello. Howdy.
It's just like a June.
You're the man. Hey, Wayne.
All right.
I figure they'll be throwing us out of here within, what, 10, 12 minutes?
That's what you want.
So moved.
Can I also go before him? Henry comes better off.
Got your phone? Have you got your phone?
All right, good evening, everyone. It's 6:30. We rise for the pledge. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Councilman Picarello.
Jason Vigorello, First Ward Council President.
Colin O'Connell, First Ward Council President.
Misty Fuller, Second Ward Council President.
Maria Mann, Second Ward Council President.
Michael Hockenberry, Councilman at Large, President.
Dominic Sicolis, Mayor present.
Jeffrey Rhodes, Third Ward Council President.
Gerald Oney, Third Ward Councilman President.
Jacqueline Dennison, Councilwoman, Fourth Ward, present.
Stan Siegel, Fourth Ward Councilman President.
William Frank, Corporation Council President.
All right, thank you, everyone. We have 3 public hearings on the agenda tonight. Started with local law number 4, which is the cannabis law. This is a continuation of the public hearing. I'll entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
So moved by Councilman Siegel, second by Councilwoman Dennison. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Just to do a little synopsis, Will, Jason, on where we're at with the local law.
Right, the proposed local law, as most of you who are involved in this know, the local law which was presented and put out for public comment is the local law that's being presented tonight to the council. Barring anything from the public that would change that. We have received our notification back from the county in which they will not be the lead agency for seeker, so we will be doing that.
Correct, and nor does the county have any comments on the law itself and the local determination.
So at this point, for those of you who are here who don't know, just to keep you, if you don't know what we're talking about, the previous council had opted in with the state to allow cannabis dispensaries within the city of Port Jervis. During their tenure, they had originally opened up zoning, and it didn't work out the way they had anticipated. So they had put a moratorium in effect to stop everything until they could figure it out. That got left to the new council. We worked very hard to rework the zoning. We have worked with people who have put in applications for their license. We have listened to the public, and we came up with the best solution of zoning areas that we thought would work best and keep the number of dispensaries limited to what would be best for the public and allow businesses to open.
Okay, thank you. Anyone from the public wishing to speak on local law number 4? Seeing none, anyone from the council wishing to speak on local law number 4? Okay, yes, sir.
At this time, I'd ask that we just go through the environmental assessment form, because the council has declared this as a type 1 action under seeker, so we've prepared the long form EAF. I just want to make a couple of notes in case anyone has any comments, because if the law is adopted, we will first have to have the council adopt a negative declaration. So pursuant to the full environmental assessment form, questions have to be answered, and the questions that are posed for seeker here have been looked at by the council and are answered in the negative. If there is any adverse impact on land, answer no. Impact on geological features, no. Impacts on surface water, no. Impact on groundwater, no. Impact on flooding, no. Impact on air, no. Impact on plants and animals, no. Impact on agricultural resources, no. Impact on aesthetic resources, no. Impact on historic and archaeological resources, no. Impact on open space and recreation, no. Impact on critical environmental areas, no. Impact on transportation. Impact on energy. Impact on noise, odor, and light, no. I'll come back to that in a minute. Impact on human health, no. Consistency with community plans, no adverse impact. Consistency with community character, no adverse impact. So it's important to note that should any applications for dispensaries be submitted to the city through the planning board, those would be evaluated for individual project under seeker, whether any of the conditions would be compromised. Generally, these are retail locations, so the thinking will be if someone is going for site plan approval and a special use permit to open a dispensary as a retail situation, there's not going to be any adverse impacts to the environment, particularly since the council did not opt in for on-site consumption. It's just retail. It's a retail store. So the expectation would be that there wouldn't be any adverse environmental impacts even with such an application, but as far as this local law, this is just the zoning and the regulations. So our recommendation is to find that there are, as the council has previously talked about, with respect to the law itself, there's no adverse environmental impacts. Thank you.
So at this point, I'd make a motion to close the public hearing?
Yes, sir.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Vicarelli, seconded by Councilman O'Connell. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving on. Yeah, we're gonna just skip real quick to the 2024 CDBG Citizen Participation Hearing. Thank you, Kristen, for writing all that.
It's me, yep. All right, good evening. My name is Kristen Trovey. I'm the chairwoman of the Port Jervis Community Development Agency, and I'm here to facilitate a public hearing. This public hearing is a New York State Community Development Block Grant requirement to give the public the opportunity to ask questions and make comments on this grant projects or suggestions for similarly designed projects that fall under the following guidelines. From the grant guideline package, New York State Homes and Community Renewal is responsible for this public infrastructure grant program. At present, the city is interested in making one application by July 31st, 2024 during the consolidated funding application window for up to $1.5 million to make improvements to the city's water filtration plant located at 71.
Kristen, we have to make a motion real quick to open up this public hearing.
All right.
I'll make a motion to open this public hearing.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Now,
Motion
just
carries.
repeat
Do I have to repeat everything?
The clerk is going to include all of Kristen's prior comments in this public hearing record, please.
Thank you. There is no required match for this project. Per the grant announcement as set forth in the Federal Housing and Community Development Act, The primary objective of the CDBG program is the development of viable urban communities by providing decent housing and a suitable living environment and expanding economic opportunities, principally for persons of low and moderate income. Further, financial assistance will be provided for the development of projects that meets the New York State CDBG program objectives that provide decent, safe, affordable housing, access to clean drinking water, proper disposal of household wastewater, access to local public facilities, and economic opportunities for persons from low and moderate income households by supporting development projects that are designed to create or retain employment opportunities or foster micro-enterprise activities and provide opportunities through planning efforts to address community development needs. In addition to improvements to the city's water filtration plant, now and throughout the year, other CDBG grant offerings including public facilities, community planning, micro-enterprise, and housing. Questions and comments and suggestions are welcome on the proposed application for water plant improvements or any other city need which may or may not fall under the current Community Development Block Grant application. For those unable to attend this evening, comments can be submitted to Valerie Majinski, the PGCDA Executive Director, via email at director@pjcda.org, via fax at 845-858-4027, or via regular mail at P.O. Box 1002, Port Jervis, New York 12771 until July 8th, 2024. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. Hearing none.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone from the public wishing to speak? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close. the public hearing. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Kristen. All right. Lastly, I'll entertain a motion to open up local law number 5. This is the real property tax law, 421F.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, this is, as we discussed at the last meeting, this is the local law to continue the exemption available for capital improvements to residential homes. And the current law is expiring in the beginning of July. The previous versions of the law were only good for 2 years at a time, so every 2 years this exemption available to those working on residential homes making capital improvements. It's on a sliding scale. Year 1, there's, for the improvement portion, there's 100% exemption. Year 2, 75. Year 3, 50%. And year 4, 25% of the exemption. Because that's expiring in a week or two, it became necessary to do a new local law to confirm and keep the exemption going for residential homeowners. And at the request and the recommendation of the assessor, we're no longer putting in the 2-year sunset. We're just going to put the law on the books, assuming the council agrees and adopts this, and the law is going to just stay on the books until such time as the council makes any changes to it. But it's the same law. There's no difference. It's just a renewal without a sunset. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Seeker's not required on this.
Anyone from the public wishing to speak? Any from the council wishing to speak?
Yes, I hope, since this is a good program for our residents that want to update their homes, and I see a lot of activity out there, I hope that people hear about this, know about this, and take advantage of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing for local law number 5.
So,
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, public comment. There's a 5-minute limit per person. Hey, Doug. BFW. 5 minutes for you, buddy, I know.
Starting now.
You could,
Yeah, we got the clock on you.
yeah, please, Stan.
Good evening, council. Good evening, mayor, councilman at large, and council. Being here tonight reminds me how much I really miss being here on the council.
Oh, yeah.
I'm here representing my name is Hank Dunn. I'm here representing VFW post number 161, and with me I have Mary Lou Pack, who is part of the auxiliary at the post. I have Fabrizio Morjon, who is the captain of the naval ship. I have Bob Ridley, a Fairwish lad, who was a dog handler in Vietnam. And I have Jim Mulligan, a Milford boy who was a a scout dog handler in Vietnam as well. Recently I attended the dedication of the Veterans Wall Memorial in the town of Wallkill, next to Maddie's Diner. What a wonderful project, which included a canine military dog memorial as well. And I was really impressed by this. And at one point, Mary Lou approached me and said, "What do you think you think we could push a project and get permission from the council to put a memorial stone up there for military canines at Orange Square Veterans Park?" We're only talking about military dogs. During Vietnam, there was over 4,000 military dogs over there. Of course, we were over there for a lot of years. They saved a lot of lives. The two dog handlers with me can attest to that. I was a dog handler. I worked nothing but nights. I was 20 feet away from the enemy at any given time. There was a lot of scary moments, and those dogs, they were there for us. They pulled through. They were our partners. So we're here tonight to respectfully request a small plot of land, if we will, up at Veterans Park to put a dog memorial, which the naval ship and the VFW Post 161 will raise the funds for. It doesn't have to be really big, but just something to recognize the service to these dogs. I mean, we've had military dogs, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and of course all through the War on Terror, detecting explosives, finding munitions, on and on and on. So at this point, I'm going to just ask Mary Lou to come up, and she just wants to spend a moment reading something to you.
She using your time?
Shockingly, yes.
She got 5 minutes, right?
Mary Lou, we're gonna,
Absolutely.
Mary Lou Hack, you were on the agenda, we'll give you the 5 minutes.
Thank you.
We're gonna borrow his time.
This project is very near and dear to my heart. I just want to read you something that I wrote. I'm not going to bore you with the whole thing, but just part of it. It's titled, "Who Am I?" I have stayed by your side for years. We played catch together, we have eaten together, we have even slept together. I comforted you when you were lonely and scared. You have even called me your best friend. I walked through the jungle leading your way, hidden foxholes right next to you. I was always ready when called to duty. The days and nights were always long, but I never complained. I was willing to do whatever it took. I would even take a bullet if it kept you safe. You were my master, my best friend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In the military, when they sent me to Colorado for dog training, I walked up to this one guy, and of course the first thing you do is you say to each other, "Hey, where you from?" And I met this guy, and he goes, "Hi, I'm Bob, I'm Hank, where you from?" "New York." "No kidding, whereabouts?" "Upstate." "Okay, whereabouts?" "Orange County." "Yeah, okay, whereabouts?" You ever hear of Port Jervis, New York?" Whereabouts?" "Sparrowbush." I said, "You're from Birdtown?" Anyway, just a quick dog handler story. When I was in training in Lackland Air Force Base, as Bob and I were together, we worked nothing but steady nights. And I'm walking down this very dirt road, and my dog stops. He's on a long leash, and my dog stops me, and I'm going, "Okay, what's with the dog?" So I walked up to him, and I stopped, and the only thing I see is this big limb across the road, and I'm going, something's going on. And then the limbs started moving, and that particular area was loaded with rattlesnakes, Did I get close enough to identify what type? No, it was a big snake, so we waited for it to go, and I'm gonna call up Bartleby next, please.
As Hank was saying, some nights training we just gave up because of the snakes and stuff. But Hank and I got thrown into the 981st Military Police Company that formed up new in the States, and we formed up out in Fort Carsey, Colorado, and trained our dogs down at Lackland Air Force Base, which is where he was talking about the snakes and stuff. And then we went back to Colorado and we deployed to Vietnam. We went to Cameron Bay, and then we split up in platoons throughout the country. I was up in Pleiku, which is up in the Central Highlands, up near the Cambodia border. I was a sentry dog handler, as Hank was, and we guarded ammo dumps, PX warehouses, other facilities there, and the dogs were quite a deterrent. Where the dogs were, there were no problems. Where the dogs weren't, there were problems. We used to drive through the town with the dogs and jeeps and stuff, and just let them howl at people, and that was more of a deterrent than anything else, I believe. So yeah, and it was hard. You all had to leave the dogs there. Now some dog handlers can bring their dogs home, but all of our dogs had to stay in Vietnam. Back to you, Mike.
Thank you, Bob.
Jim Mulligan?
Yeah. Okay. I'm the commander from the American Legion in Milford. I never thought of myself as a hero, but they had me. They had me up on the pole, and that's when I was like, I think 18 or 19 years old. That's my dog, Ricky. As far as I know, there were 3 types of dogs in Vietnam. It was a tracker dog, sentry dog, and I was a scout dog handler. And I walked point, and my wife didn't know what walking point means, and I had to explain it. So somebody had to explain it to her. But I was getting ready to go to pick up a handler that was killed, and I wasn't supposed to go out that day, and he was killed by women. And they used machetes to cut him and put him up in a tree. And that's what that picture is. And the guy happened to be walking past from Stars and Stripes or some photographer. And he said, "Will your dog pose for me?" And that's what he did. So, like I said, this was dog, Ricky, and I was about 130 pounds. He was about 98 pounds. So, he alerted on ambushes, booby traps, and not only saved my life, but everybody behind me. I actually walked a large group of men in the Hobo Woods, and he saved everybody. And he never walked into an ambush. 5 days in the Hobo Woods, he always alerted on ambushes, booby traps, and it was a good dog. And if it wasn't for that dog, I wouldn't be here, and a lot of other people behind me wouldn't be here. But that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for your time. I know you've been a little bit extended for us, and we appreciate that. And please consider just giving us a small little plot of land up there that we could put these canine military dogs.
Okay, Henry, you had us on hello.
Yeah.
You really you stood up. That was quite a presentation. Very nice.
Yes, good job.
Good job.
We'll find a spot for you. We'll have Hawk and Wayne get together with you. Okay?
Thank you so much for your time.
You got it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ready? Thank you.
Gonna run for it?
What the heck, neighbor? You don't want to stay? Take care. Good evening. Good night, Patricia.
Nice job.
June Quick.
June. You want me to hand these out? Oh, okay. I-
June, you have 5 minutes.
Okay. I have here a code violation order that was, written April 30th. I have here a bill that was written last Friday. The first part of May, on June 3rd. First part of May, I received a code violation of, Upstate Code 417, 17.1, 17.1A, regarding the height regulation of weeds and grasses. I was given until May 7th to comply. My yard and my street had been marked with blue and yellow paint and flags for months for the pending lead pipe replacement by GCE excavation. So I really didn't have any idea where the digging was going to be. When those men came, they kindly dug up and replanted 3 large chrysanthemum plants approximately 14 inches around and 3 inches high and fully green. When the backhoe work was finished, they returned a few weeks later to fill in and tamp it down and cover it with straw. I remember that was May 23rd because I just had emergency surgery and didn't go out to talk to them because I was still in. I tried to mow and weed a little bit, but I still had stitches, so I left to go and stay with relatives and recuperate. Because over the last 3 years, I've had several crushing blows in my life and I live alone now. In the past, attempts of a grass lawn in front of my house have been almost impossible due to our frequent flooding issues that everybody knows about. I'm trying very hard to fill in the 15 by 60 area with wild flowers and good pollinators that will withstand the overabundance of water. This project has made me feel a little bit of peace and contentment, and it kind of helps me deal with my harsh recent losses by giving me a sense of purpose. Last year, Mr. Rivera was at my house for the same code violation, and I explained all this about the weeds and the pollinators, and after I weeded and mowed around the flowers, I called his office for re-inspection to make sure it was good enough. I got no response. This year, I saw him on my block. I stopped to ask him about Monday brush pickup, and I let him know that the pit was roped off so I couldn't dump. He said he didn't know, he was too busy, he had too many miles, too much property, couldn't take the time, and I should just take the 5 minutes and drive myself up there. I told him about my violation letter, and he said it wasn't from him, didn't know who sent it, didn't know all the people who worked down there, and then he said, "Oh, you're the one with the flowers." Okay, now I realize it's my fault. I should have come down here and spoken to the appropriate people. I didn't do it. I very stupidly imagined that my conversation with Mr. Rivera would kind of cover me because the contractors hadn't even come back yet to put the dirt and the straw down. So I was out of town a week. I tried to mow, and then I knew I should have been weed whacking with stitches, and that's my fault, not yours. I was out of town the week of June 3rd, and while I was gone, 5 guys with a work order totally decimated my yard with obvious flowers. I have pictures of the flowers half beheaded. I have a list of all my flowers, and I can stop there because you guys have a list of the flowers. You have the same thing. So, as a senior homeowner for 44 years, I was horrified, and as a taxpayer, I'm outraged. I try hard, and I wouldn't wish this sinking feeling on your mother or grandmother after all the time and effort and money I spent. A lot of those plants I bought at Walmart and Lowe's and Home Depot. I seriously hope you will look into your policy, practice, and work orders and possibly train the staff before the next person's home is attacked. I spoke to Stan about this, and he told me who to give copies
too. And so today, in the mail, I got a bill for $364.24 for labor, equipment, and administrative fees. And my time is up?
So your time is up, but
Okay.
how about we continue this conversation this week, you and I? Okay? We'll continue this conversation.
Okay.
And we won't just let it end at public comment, if you're okay with that.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thanks.
thank you. Robin Tamarino?
Hi, I'm Robin Tamarino, and I feel like I'm the dog person. I came here for 2 years until we got the dog yard and said something, and we have a dog yard. Now I'm coming for a complaint. So we have the dog yard, which I often clean, but we have another issue, and I spoke to Stan about it. I also sent an email to Jeff, who I thought was going to be here, Jeff Ewing, but I see he's not here. He did not acknowledge me. I know at the town we have a leash law. I'm diligent. Stan will tell you I've had 2 Siberian Huskies until recently. One passed away. I have one large 90-pound Husky that I walk and I have great control over. He's bigger than me. But if you're walking a dog who's on a leash and people don't have their dogs on a leash and they see your dog and they came running at your dog, it's an attack. They may be running to play, but your dog does not think they're running to play. Your dog thinks they're running to attack, which means the 90 dog is going to take the 84-pound person and I'm going to go flying. So I've learned to, when I see that happen, just land myself on the ground, and then he'll just stand over me and protect me. But there is nobody who I've seen police, local people drive through the cemetery. When I walk up at the cemetery, that happens up at Wall Road. I spoke to Stan because they may be very nice people, the people who own Wall Road, but they also use it as their dog yard. Their dogs run free through it. I have been stopped by their dogs, blocked off and growled at, and not been able to move because they're ready to come at me for daring to go near their property. Something has to be done about the fact that I can't be the only person who, one, picks up the damn dog crap in the cemetery and throughout the 4th Ward, and there is a dog leash law. Dogs need to be leashed. They're running free, not just in places. That is a marked walking area. That's part of the heritage walking area. And there are a lot of people who are afraid when they see me with a large dog. So imagine a large dog running free, and their owner is just walking around with their phone. So I'm coming and making a complaint. I've been injured enough times. I walk with a cane. I walk sometimes with a surgical shoe, sometimes with a cast boot. I come home so aggravated that it's outrageous. I've been here for many years. See, I'll tell you, I've been here for, my kids are in their 40s and 50s. I've been here in my house since '73. But something really needs to be done. The other issue that's part of that is there also is not a garbage pail around there. There used to be. There's only one in the parking lot. There's not one on the other end like it used to be coming out. So God forbid your dog goes to the bathroom on your way out of the cemetery, you're carrying poop until you get to East Main Street to that little park. I'm carrying poop because nobody else does that. I carry garbage bags to pick up the poop. So if we could do anything about this leash law that I know we have, and I know we have a dog person, if something could be done, it would be really, really appreciated.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. And that's it. That's the last sheet, right, Bobby Joe? Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion to enter into executive session. Tonight we have two items, personnel issues, city clerk treasurer and the CSEA contract. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.